Hey everybody, what's up? What's up? Welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel. I know it's late. I am so tired. It has been a day. It has been a day, dog. Okay, so listen, let me preface this a little bit. I have been working since 6 in the morning. I just got home from a screening of Hard Eyes. My phone is blowing up. Like, the whole time I'm in the theater, I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, what could possibly be happening that that I'm getting a million text messages right now? I'm not kidding. Maybe half of the contacts in this phone have texted me just in the last 2 hours. Saying, dude, what are you doing right now, man? I think the funniest text I got is Evan from Rockland Graves texted me. And he said, what the fuck are you in the hospital right now? What are you doing? Why are you not making videos right now, Jake? What's going on? It's the craziest thing. I raced home. Like, I'm embarrassed to admit this. I raced home. I'm like, I gotta do something. We gotta do something. I don't care how tired I am. We're going. We gotta talk about this, baby. Stew Train. It's in full. It's, you know what? Craven Something Scary was right. Steven from Craven Something Scary. Mad shout out to him. He is the conductor of the Stew Train. He was right, ladies and gentlemen. Stu is back. He's back from the dead. He's our killer. A hallucination of Sydney's, you might suggest? No, he's our killer, damn it. I don't care anymore. Scream is completely gone off the rails. It's ridiculous. We got Critical Overlord here with us. What's up, man? If you saw my tweet earlier, it was about Stu. You had to sit on it for a long time. Yeah, damn, dude. You just been holding this back this whole time. You knew about it all along. Brutal. I don't care what anyone says. He's back. He's the killer. That TV didn't kill him. Damn it. Oh my God. No, but we'll talk actual thoughts in a second here. But I want to hear what everyone else has to say. Well. Looks like Craven was right all along. I know. Craven was right, man. Why would I ever fight him on something like that? OBX for life. I love that. What's up, dog? How's it going? How you doing? Are you on the Stew Train? Let's find out. I want to talk to everybody. Legion is here saying, what up, bro? Oh, you know, just the craziest horror news in years today that I nearly missed, which is crazy. Mr. Rick is saying, I was going to bed and then I heard this news. I can't go to bed now. I can't either. That's why I'm live. It's too crazy. It's too crazy to talk about. Glad you liked Hard Eyes. I can't say anything about it until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, but that's all I'm going to say. That's all I can say. I literally can't say any more than that. Madison is with us. Hello. How are you, Madison? Madison has only seen one Scream film as of right now, and it is the first movie. So now we know who the killer is in Scream 7. It's Matthew's back, baby. Crazy. Devin is saying, bro, no homo. I popped the biggest boner when I got the notification he's back. Hey, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with boners for Stu. Can we get that hashtag going? Hashtag boners for Stu. That's that's what I'm talking about, baby. I have a Scream tattoo of Stu, so I'm happy. Hell yeah. Felix the fandom. I'm so excited. I saw the deadline report before Matthew's post. I have been unwell ever since. Been waiting for this for a long time. Jesus. Scott Walker saying, do you think he'll be like a clean shaved, or do you think he'll be able to like have a burn or a scar from the TV? Craven Something Scary was absolutely right. Stu was alive all these years. Surprise, Sydney. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, he's probably going to be all messed up on the face or whatever. happy that Stu Mocker is alive. Oh my God. So is the Scream franchise dead, you think? Yeah, no, it is. Like, it's completely dead. This is the last nail in the coffin is what this is. But it's a funny one at that. And honest to God, just getting into my thoughts about it. I'm just so happy. I'm so happy for this side of the fandom who has wanted this for the longest time. There's been people who have been nonstop talking about this. I literally said it in my video on Tuesday. I'm like, dude, every day every time I post, I might not even be posting about Scream. I will get a comment from people saying, "Oh man, but I wish that Stu was coming back for Scream 7." And you know what? Now it's happening. And there's a whole side of the fandom that's so happy. And even though it's going to kill the franchise, like I don't know what to tell you. Scream is dead, but at least we can have fun kind of dancing on its grave a little bit. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at right now. And we can't we can't fight it. Let's just if you can't beat them, join them is kind of the feelings I'm getting right now. So I don't care. I'm just gonna have fun with this movie. I love Matthew Lillard. He's my favorite Ghostface, and you know what? He's coming back. Fuck it. Let's have fun with this. Let's set fire to the Scream franchise and have a good time with it. Is what I say. So fuck it. I don't care. Run it. Bring back Scott Foley as Roman. Bring back Jill. Bring them all back. Have one last little hurrah, and then just call it a day. Movie Misfits video. What's going on, dog? I love your profile picture. That is gorgeous. Very retro. My prediction: the killer will use AI tech to torture Sydney with all her previous killers, like Roman did for the voices in 3. Probably. Nothing is off the table. Nothing is off the table at this point. Scott Foley is back. Matthew Lillard is back. I'm waiting for the announcement that Emma Roberts is back, baby. Like they're all coming back. We're gonna have one last hoorah. They're all gonna come after Sydney, and she's gonna kill all of them again. I'm convinced. I'm convinced. Movie Misfits video. Does it sound like I've lost my mind? It's because I have. But I do like the idea of using AI as some kind of like evil tech for the new movie. Again, that this is a very real issue. If the movie's going to be ridiculous and outlandish, at least they can try to have some sort of substance to it, right? So fuck it. Yeah, why not? Let's have AI tech used in there. Like it could be voices of her dead friends. It's like Dewey's voice or something. I don't know. Maybe Dewey's still alive too, actually. So I don't know, man. But I'm here for it. Sure. I like this idea. The other thing too is, when Roman used the voice changer in the year 2000, that technology didn't really exist. So now it does. So it's like, if you want to do a callback to that, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's run it. Let's make it happen. Movie Misfits video. Thank you for the 5, my friend. I'm here for it. I'm here for the most outlandish ideas. And that's not even the craziest thing. And I don't know. I don't even know. I feel like I'm losing my mind a little bit. I can't even believe what's happening is real. Fallon Vamp, thanks for being a member of the page. I didn't realize I wanted Stu to come back until this. It made me super happy. That's awesome. That's great to hear. I'm really glad, and again, people are going to be over the moon about this. This is going to make a lot of people happy. And you know what? Cool. Rock on. We have 6 Scream movies where it's somewhat grounded. I'll take it, man. If this is where the franchise needs to go, then sure. Cody is saying it's like Fast and Furious meets Scream. No one truly dies. Yeah. I mean, that's where we're at. That's where we're at now. That's what the franchise has become. We all should have known the second Kevin Williamson was announced that he was directing. Yeah, it is cool that Stu's coming back. I don't know if that was Kevin's idea or not. I mean, that really is the question, isn't it? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Fate saying send me the link. I just tried calling him. I just tried calling Fate, and he didn't answer. The little bitch. I'm just kidding. I love Fate. He's awesome. I'll send you the link. It's Craven? Craven's got to be live right now, right? Craven's got to be. I know Night's live. I saw Nightwatch was live. Anyone can come on the stream at this point. I don't care. Nothing is real anymore. We're all in the Matrix. I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore. I wish I had words. I wish I had more words. Fate, I just sent you the thing. Hop on. Let's talk a little bit about how great Scream 7 is going to be. But yeah, Chris Hernandez is saying, since Scott Foley is confirmed as well, do you think they will have Roman have a twin? And he was in Scream 3, and they only got Roman and not the twin. Now he teams with Stu. Sure. Fuck it. Yeah. It's not Stu either. It's Drew. It's Drew and Groman. Drew and Groman at the end of the film. That's fucking hilarious. And I hear the people who are saying Okay, let's be real for a second though, because I am spiraling and losing my mind a little bit. But let's talk a bit about this for like 2 seconds here. So will these characters be, flashbacks, hallucinations? Blue Box is already one step ahead of me. Sure, it could be that. I mean, it could, but again, I don't know why they would do this. And here's my reasoning. Again, I will talk about this more, fruitfully, let's say, in a video tomorrow, but I am half asleep, so give me a break here. Big thing I'm thinking about is I don't think they'll do the hallucination thing, because that was one of the most criticized elements of Screams 5 and 6. Like, people did not like the Billy flashback. I have yet to see a positive review with something like that. So to me, it's yeah, they're just coming back. They're just gonna have them be alive somehow. They've still been running this whole operation the whole time. Is my thinking. That's why we're just announcing all this. But I don't know. I don't know anymore. Again, but nothing is real. We're living in the Matrix. Jason, thank you for the 5. Fate, I see you backstage. I'm bringing you on in just 2 seconds. Jason saying, here I am on cloud 9 walking into the car after Companion. Then my phone goes off like crazy. I'm mixed on Stu coming back, but Companion was 10 out of 10. Nice. Very cool, dude. Yeah, I mean, Stu coming back. Fuck it. It's going to be fun. And that's, at the very least, I'll take it. I'll take it. It's going to be fun. Sure. Whatever at this point. But I still have to see Companion, Jason. I'm glad you really liked it. 10 out of 10. Nice. Some very good reviews coming out for this one, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen it yet. I haven't yet. I got to see Heart Eyes early tonight with my boys over at the Splattercast YouTube channel. They're awesome. So it was always nice seeing them. Had to go out to the middle of nowhere though to see this one. Well, it was up in Cleveland, but it was just a theater I've never been to before. It was odd, but it was exciting. It was a fun movie, and I can't say any more besides that. But 9 a.m. tomorrow, embargo lifts. Check out my review tomorrow morning. It'll be a ton of fun. And of course, I'll have a Stu video because I have to. But Companion, I'm going to see this one this weekend, Jason, and I'll do some kind of big video on it. I will let you know. Dude, thank you for the 5. I'm so glad you enjoyed that movie. Love horror, man. Just keep the love going. Fate, one more thing, and then I'm bringing you on. Antidus, thank you for being a member for a month. Appreciate you, brother. Saying, is it true that Final Destination 6 trailer will be attached to Companion? I heard that from a YouTube channel. I truly believe Stu is dead. Well, yeah, I thought Stu was dead too, but he's not. No, he's very much so alive, obviously. I mean, what was I thinking? What silly things were I think? What was I thinking? But Final Destination 6 trailer, I could totally see it being ahead of Companion. That might be a question for Jason, who we were just talking to a second ago, Jason Carpenter. I have not seen Companion yet. I'm a little behind on that one. But I'm gonna see it this weekend, and I'll let you know. And then if not, I will see it I'll see it this weekend, and it'll probably be on the Super Bowl or something, I imagine, right? The Final Destination 6 trailer. So there we go. There we are. Kay saying, I heard Emma is coming back too. Of course she is. Everyone's coming back. It's going to be Scream Infinity War. It's crazy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have the biggest Stu fan of all time sitting backstage with me. So we're going to talk all about this crazy shit. Fate decided. What's going on, man?
What's up, buddy? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, because I can't find my headphones, so I don't have my mic plugged in. So
you sound like shit. If that makes you feel better.
Oh, okay, good. That's all I want to know. I don't know where to put my headphones because when I live it's just me, so I don't know where I put my headphones. So I can't hear you if I don't have my mic when I have my mic plugged in. So
you're good. You're all good.
So anyway, okay, when you called me, I had just jumped on my Lakers stream because the Laker game just ended.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hate this movie so much. Okay?
It's gonna be great, dude. Stu's back. Roman's back. Everyone's back, dude. The only reason I
called you and told you to call me was because I wanted to rant and vent and yell at each other. Literally, I just wanted to yell at you because if I call Craven, he's like, I love the movie. This is gonna be great. And, Knight's gonna be like, well, Tyler, and you're the only one that will be like, yeah, it's stupid. So I just, okay. First off, could it be flashbacks? If it's a flashback sequence with, say, Stu and Roman, and there's some little talk,
yeah.
Fine, I'm okay with it. But we both know that's not what's about to happen.
Now,
can
can I hit the pause button just real quick?
Yeah.
Because
Go ahead.
we are just kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, we're kind of just getting into it. You know, we're just like we're a lot of emotions right now, obviously, but we should just like let's talk about the update here. This is confirmed. This is not a rumor. I know, you know, Fate and I both like to talk about rumors a lot. And we have Movie Mania here saying, so is Stu back? You know, what's going on here? Let's get this out of the way, because we do have a lot more folks joining us here just in the last 5 minutes or so. So yes, Deadline has reported Matthew Lillard is back for Scream 7. This is 100% confirmed. You can look it up. Confirmed sources. Same thing goes with Scott Foley, who plays Roman Bridger in Scream 3. So both of them are back. Now, nothing is 100% confirmed about what their role will be. Like, there's no plot, there's no character details, but of course they're playing Stu and Roman again. But in what capacity? Is it going to be flashbacks? Are they actually still alive? That is the question of the day. Fate, please keep ranting.
Okay. Oh. Since I was so rudely interrupted, listen. We know what's going to happen. We know. Why? Because Scream 5 and 6 did exactly what we knew what was going to happen. Here's my problem. These writers don't have any creativity in their minds. This studio doesn't. Look, I love Stu as a character. I love it. But why do we need to go down that road? Why do we need to kill? If I want to watch Scream 1, 2, and 3, I can just watch Scream 1, 2, and 3. They exist. Why are we redoing it? It is literally the definition. I said this in my video. I haven't done the Stu video yet. I'll have that tomorrow. But I literally said in my video, it's the perfect example of, yeah, you can copy my homework, just change it a little bit so we don't get in trouble. Right? Like, it literally is. Because it's like they did the parent revenge thing, but it's gender swapped. And it's the siblings this time too, right? It's the same thing. And now you're gonna do some like Scream 3 where it's like the long lost brother. Roman's gonna end up having some fucking twin, right? Like, or something stupid like that.
Of course.
It's gonna be Roman, because look, we've all said, we used to talk about it on the collective and everything. We all said that film makes no sense unless there's a second killer somewhere. And Angelina is the one we've always like headcanon. She's got to be the other killer. They're going to go, there was a second killer all along. It was Roman. And a Roman, it was Broman, because it can't be Roman. So it's got to be Broman. It was Broman. Yeah. And then Broman is the one. Also, notice how they didn't say. So when the Matthew Lillard news came out, right, it said he was returning as Stu. When Scott Foley news came out, it didn't say he was coming back as Roman.
That is a good point. That is a good point. Maybe she has another sibling out there that is also played by Scott Foley. I'm at the point with this film, and here's my thing. We have to entertain the idea that maybe it is just like some sort of flashback, right? Maybe it is some sort of flashback. Maybe it's some sort of, her just seeing ghosts like how she did in Scream 3. Something similar to that, essentially. And to me, like, that still is just something where I'm like, I don't need that in Scream. I don't need that in Scream 7. What doesn't make sense to me is that everybody criticized Scream 5 and Scream 6 for the Billy hallucinations. It's not necessary. She never met her father. So how would she, why would she even, think of that? I don't know. Why is that what the trauma would take shape of in her mind? It doesn't make sense besides having a little bout of fan service in there. And now they're expanding upon it twice as much now for the new entry. And I don't know. I'm happy for all the I'm happy for the fans who are loving this right now and so excited to see their favorite characters come back. But to me, this is a franchise killing decision. No one will be able to take a Scream movie seriously again after whatever they're cooking up here.
That's my problem. Yeah, and that's my problem. We've all basically built our channels on the back of Scream over the last few years, right? Every time we make a Scream movie or video, does better than all the other videos, more times than not. Obviously, random stuff. My problem is up until this point, Scream has always maintained the realism. Are there unrealistic moments? Sure. Is there movie logic? Sure. But for the most part, it's kept it as close to the chest as possible. You look at a lot of these other franchises, they start going into like the supernatural territory, or start bringing back guys and start buying too much into fan service rather than just staying the course. And my problem is like, I don't want a Scream 3 2.0. I want a Scream 7, 8, and 9. Scream 8 is supposed to be already greenlit. Great. You're telling me these writers, Vanderbilt can't make a creative story, and my hope was that Kevin Williamson was coming back, that he would kind of inject and be like, no, hey, we got to do something different here. Scream 5, they said their excuse was it was the fan film. It was the passion piece. It was the homage to Wes. Okay, fine. Right? Cool. You got me. I'll buy in. I'll subscribe to that. And then Scream 6 happened, and we talked about it, Jake, here on my channel, on the Lethal Collective, and what do we all say? They're going to do Scream 2 2.0. They're going to do, yeah, it'll have differences. Yeah, it'll be different. But then all of a sudden, what happened? You got the college campus. When the last time we saw that? Oh, Scream 2. You get the parent, the revenge trope. Oh, when did we see that? And now we're going here, and now you're going to have a Roman thing again. It's just like, dude, why do we have to keep treading old ideas? There are so many. The reason I'm so frustrated about this is because I love the franchise. Like you said yourself, this is franchise killing. And 2, or 3, I guess, is that there's so many creative ideas that we could explore that, I mean, you and me have talked about, Craven and Knight have talked about, fans, our subscribers and stuff have even brought to us and been like, oh, this would be cool, so cool if they did this or that and the other. And it's like, instead of coming up with some, new direction, which this Scream movie has more of an opportunity than ever. We've never had Sydney with a husband, with children, a family that is going to be targeted by Ghostface. It's always been family driven, but it's never been a family, right? There's so much new creative just impact you could have on this movie, and they're not going to do any of it.
Yeah, I'm frustrated. I'm tired. but I'm also just like, I think at this point, like that's all they got. That's all they got under their belts is fan service. And I think just a lot of what, Screams 5 and 6, what a lot of the success was, I think what they're thinking at least is like, well, we were able to bring in, popular young people again to the franchise, and that's why it was so successful. It had a great cast, those last 2 movies. And, after they had to clean house, I'm honestly thinking like what a lot of the decision making is now is, well, if we're going to go back to Sidney Prescott, we also have to bring in some other people, put butts in seats. The last time they did this was Scream 4. This is truly the last Sidney movie was Scream 4. Scream 5, she shows up and shoots at some doors. You know what I mean? That's not Sidney's movie. She just kind of showed up.
Yeah, Scream was original.
And I love Scream 4. Scream 4 is my favorite sequel. It's a banger, man. But the problem with it is like it just didn't do well at it didn't do well at the box office, and it kind of put the franchise to sleep for a little while. And I think they want to avoid that.
Movie had no promotion. That movie, they released that movie and like no one even knew about it. Like, and I'm like a diehard Scream guy, and I remember going like back then going to like a theater and like, oh, there's a new Scream. Like Scream 5. Yeah. As much as I criticize Scream 5 and 6, Scream 5 killed it with the marketing.
Yeah.
Killed it with the marketing was spectacular with Scream 5. And my thing is like, you want to bring Sidney back. I've talked about how I would prefer them just go fresh, but I get it, right? Melissa Barrera, not to get into all that noise, but that ends up, she departs, right? And it's like, okay, well, now what do you do? The safest bet is to bring back Sidney. Okay, fine. Like, no problem. Let's do it.
I get it. I get why that decision was made. Yeah.
Yeah. But I can live with that. But you have an opportunity to tell a brand new story, to tell something new, creative, fun, right? Again, Sidney's never had a family. She's as far up until Scream 5 when they just mentioned it. She's never had. We didn't even know that she could even have children. Think of how many times she's been attacked and just like horrifically, right? She has a husband. She has children. She has all these things. And you're telling me instead of making that the focal point, instead of making it Sidney, imagine a story where Sidney is not only responsible for herself, but her family. And she has the task of taking down Ghostface while keeping her family safe. Imagine if her husband ended up in the hospital or something and, saving her kids and getting Sidney and her kids out, right? I'm not saying you have to kill them, but like say that's the opening, right? They get attacked. he's like, you know, in a coma or something like that in the hospital, and Ghostface is tracking her, hunting her, going after her. They go to some cabin or something like that, because I saw somebody say like, well, what do you want from a Scream movie? So I'll tell you, go to a cabin or something like that, and just like boom, you have a new territory. Gail shows up, she helps. Mason shows up, he helps. Or
dude,
Chad.
yeah.
Like, you could have told an entirely new story that we've never gotten in the Scream franchise, centered around Sydney and her family. And imagine her young children. Ghostface takes her children. What if she gets put in a position where it's like she has to choose? Do you want to kill Gail or do you want to save your children?
And that's kind of the big thing I was pitching is I'm like, I think if you're going to go back to basics, then go for it. Go back to basics. Tell a simple murder mystery story again. And that's just clearly not the case here, man. I mean, the Meeks Martins twins are back. Scott Foley's back. Matthew Lillard's back. I mean, dude, I'm just waiting for the announcement that the rest of the killers, the rest of the big names. I'm waiting for the announcement that David Arquette is back. It's coming. I mean, it's coming. This is just going to be a big amalgamation film of everything we've seen from the past at some point. And I just feel like, you know, me personally, this franchise has already played the nostalgia card plenty of times. I'm just waiting for something. I'm just waiting for something else from the series, and it just seems like it's not going to come, which is really a shame. But I am very happy for that side of the fandom. You know, I don't want to completely shit on the parade, because a lot of people are going to watch this movie with just like, you know, a smile to both of their ears, right? A grin going that far across their face. But I just know that this is it. Like, no one's gonna take a Scream movie seriously after this.
That's my problem.
And that's it.
It's just like, even if you wanted to do the Stu route, right? Like, because again, like, Roman has to be back, or Scott Foley has to be back in some capacity, right? So unless like he's the flashback and they do the Stu route, the Stu return route. But here's my problem. It's been, by the time this movie comes out, it will have been 30 years. 30, he is 100% having a party, without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
Without a doubt. But my point is that, like, you know, it's been 30 years, and now you're just bringing this guy out from left field. Again, maybe it isn't what we said, which I feel terrible for Craven. Dude, do you know how bad Craven's gonna be? Dude, we might have to go visit him or something. Because imagine if we go to that Scream 7 movie and it's not Stu return, it's just like a flashback or something.
He'll be devastated. Oh my god! Like, at this point, they have to do Stu coming back. I don't care if it'll kill the franchise. I'm just like, do it. Just do it. You made the announcement already. Just run it. I don't even care anymore. But
I want to say something about that. But yeah, answer this.
Joey Hockey Cards 86. I love the name, Joey. Thanks for the $2, man. Saying viewer Anon mentioned Roman doesn't have a twin, so it's Roman, baby. It's not Broman, not Groman either. It's Roman.
I'm hoping it's just a flashback, right? So my thought process with it is first off, because before I forget the other point, why would you announce this?
I don't know. I would not have announced this.
That's probably my biggest frustration. Why would you announce Roman and Stu back? You know why? Because they're desperate for this movie to get butts in seats, or this, you know, to get butts in seats. So they're
I've been predicting it. I've been predicting it for years, for literal years now. I've been telling y'all they were going to do something like this.
Yeah, why? It's so stupid. But here's my thought process on the whole Roman, and I said this in my Roman video. So if they're not going to do like the twin route, Roman has to be a flashback. The guy got shot in the head, right? Like, there's no, like, that's the death sentence in Scream. That's the whole, right? Like, if they were shot in the head, that's it, right? Like, I mean, it's even in like Randy's speeches and stuff, right? Like, so I don't see them bringing back Roman alive. But what I do think will happen is I think that Stu's going to be back, and they'll use Roman in a flashback to explain how he, like, Roman, because remember, Roman was always involved. So it is, and a lot of people have made the connection over the years that the ghost face hiding in the bushes, stalking Tatum and Sydney was Roman, because Stu was where was Stu? Stu was like setting up the party, was at the party, and Billy would have been killing Principal Hembry at that time. so it couldn't have been him. Although Scream 6 has multiple things that just like timeline-wise doesn't add up. Like they had to have happened at different, but I digress. So I think what will happen is they'll use that to their advantage. What will happen is like either Roman drags Stu out in time, or Roman like worked behind the scenes to get Stu in the psychiatric hospital because there's a psychiatric ward or whatever. So like got put in a psychiatric ward or something. Like that's what I think will happen is they'll use Roman to explain how Stu is manipulating and masterminding, and maybe Roman was double crossing Billy and all this stuff. But my problem is it's been 30 years. How do you make this make sense? How do you make this without this being just convoluted and just like, that's stupid? There hasn't been a mention of him. There hasn't been nothing.
you can't, man. I'm telling you, man, if whatever they're cooking up here, whether that's a whether that is some sort of flashback or something like this, a little more intricate, where it does play into this like 30-year long con or something that Stu's been holding on to in the background. Whatever they end up doing, it's going to be ridiculous and just kind of weird and shoehorned. And again, I'm still going to be just like, what? Like just weirded out if it is only just a hallucination or something that just keeps coming back throughout the flick. I don't understand why Scream keeps trying to do this. Like Maureen Prescott comes back as a ghost in Scream 3. It's easily one of the weakest elements to that movie. It doesn't fit in Scream. They tried to do it in 5 and 6 too. It doesn't fit in Scream, man. And now they might be doing it here again with a bunch of the past ghost faces, maybe haunting, Sydney. That's obviously one of the biggest things going around in the ether right now. That's a big thing where everyone's talking about. And I just don't know why we need that in a Scream film. I look at these movies as like different chapters in an ongoing, soap opera saga, right? Exactly. And it should be about a new killer every single time. That's what makes it, it kind of gives it this like episodic fun feel.
It from other franchises.
Right.
It's not a Jason, it's not a Michael. It's always somebody different. So you don't have to go the supernatural element. You don't have to bring back old killers and all. Like you can just stay the course. I agree with you. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I just, to me, I don't get it. I don't know. To me, it's like this series shouldn't be about fan service. This series should it does something so great already. Just focus on making that great. To me, I don't understand why that is so tough. You know what I mean? That's what I'm frustrated with, because clearly they are, what this says to me more than anything is they are getting on their hands and knees and begging people to come to the theaters. They're like, exactly. We're so sorry we fired, we're so sorry. I know. Well, they're begging us because they're like, because the Melissa Barrera stuff, man. They're saying, we're sorry we fired Melissa. Here's Stu. Here's Roman.
We have seen time and time again. People don't. The general audience doesn't care. Like the Sydney stuff and everything else, right? Like Sydney Prescott. Everyone was, let's boycott Scream. It made more money than any Scream movie ever, because the general audience doesn't care. They're not like us. They're not looking up every article. They're not watching YouTubers. They're not doing anything. They're just going to the movie and hoping it's a good movie. That's it. Like the diehards are the ones. Like these two factions of Melissa stans and Sydney stans and how they're like trying to kill each other. Like none of that is relevant in the grand scope of the movie, because that's such a minority compared to the general audience, right? You're talking 1 million people see this movie. You're talking 1,000 people, if that are like, fighting over each other for what? Like, it's just a mess. But sorry.
No, trust me. I hear you, man. It's just a crazy time. I do really like Fallon Vamp's little theory here. Grainy video of them planning Marine's murder. I could get into something like that. I really, again, I really do want some new killers in Scream 7. Is that going to be the case? Well, now we don't know. But something along the lines of this, it's one of those things where I'm questioning why are we watching that now 30 years later? It's still just one of those things to me. If this was Scream 4, I'd be a little more like, okay, maybe they're going back through the footage, they're trying to figure out, could this all be connected? That makes sense to me in the continuation to 3, not in the continuation to Scream 6. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Why are we, why are we doing something like this? I would love this though. To me, I would love the idea of it's literally just a de-aging video of them. Think about Randy's camera from Scream 3. I mean,
Yeah.
he filmed himself and did a little video in case he died. It could be the same thing. Fuck, you could have Jamie Kennedy in there too, just like pretending to film them behind the scenes, just use his voice. I could get into a scene like that. Again, I need answers as to why we're seeing that scene, but I'm down for it nonetheless. Fate, how do you feel about that? Would that, you know, would that take off the sting of this whole day and these weird
I
announcements?
mean, if you can make it make sense, like I'm okay with them being in the movie as long as it's not the way we think, right? Like if it's like, you know, a grainy video or something like that, and they do some de-aging technology or something like that, which is easy nowadays, but if they do something like that, then fine. Or, you know, like we've talked about, if it's, you know, just a flashback sequence or it's like some new information we didn't have, fine. If you want to like make this like a full circle moment, beautiful. I'm okay with it as long as it makes sense with the story. If it's just like Sydney finds some random old thing, you know, like then that would be a little different. But if it stays within, you know, the scope of the story, then sure, yeah.
And I'm here for it. There's been so many like tie-ins to Marine's murder. Like, I mean, in nearly every movie, at least the first 3 Scream movies, right? Like nearly everything there all ties back to that somehow. So to me, it's just like, I'm just past it. You know, I'm just like, okay, yeah, the Marine murder thing, that was awesome in Scream 1, especially. Like, I feel like that fuels the twist at the end, because you don't even really think that's going to really play into everything, like who this new killer is. And then, oh my God, it's like the biggest thing. It's the biggest reason. That to me is awesome. Scream 3 really overcomplicates it, you know, like, oh my God, Roman was there the whole time. There's this Hollywood angle to it. What?
Well, and it did, like, it was so poorly explained. Roman had to spend 10 minutes explaining it before we got to the action. Literally.
Yeah.
It was so poorly, like, you know, it's bad when Sydney goes like, who are you? Like, Sydney has no idea who this person is, and he has to sit there and give an entire speech for 10 minutes to make it make sense to the audience, because they did such a poor job explaining it, because it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like it just didn't. So here's my, and I made a video on this. This is the one thing that I would like, if you're going to bring back Stu, I don't want him to be the killer again, right? I want him to be reformed, and he ends up helping Sydney in the end. Because, and here's my reasoning, right? One, he wasn't the mastermind. He never was. He was the patsy. Even Roman says that he tells Billy, like, you got to get a fall guy, all that stuff. Stu was doing it for Billy, right? So he was never the bad guy. He even says peer pressure, all that stuff. So him being the bad guy. It's been 30 years. Why in the world would he want to now? Like, it's just, been a long game? He's just been waiting 30 years to get his revenge on Sydney?
He just got out of prison. He just
got out of prison, and now he wants back. What I would rather have is Stu gets out from psych ward or prison or whatever. Ghostface attacks start picking back up because the killers want to use Stu as the guys, like that he's back and he's doing it. But it's not him. He's trying to prove his innocence. He's trying to relay to Sydney. You have that conflict because Sydney's never going to trust him. Sydney's never going to ask for his help. Sydney's never going to do anything. He's trying to show that look, it wasn't me. It was Billy. I was manipulated. I was a child, this, that, and the other. And then at the end, we get a Cotton Weary moment where Sydney, just like in Scream 2, Sydney didn't want anything to do with Cotton. Cotton keeps trying to be, but he's a little sus. The entire time, Stu seems like he's the red herring. The entire time, Stu's trying to talk to Sydney's daughter. It's just this, like, you know, like Sydney's daughter. Like,
is he creeping on Sydney's daughter? What's happening here?
No, like he's like, you know, he's trying to get to Sydney. He's trying to help, right? Because there's a killer. Everyone thinks it's him. Maybe he's on the run from the cops or something like that, right? It's just like Cotton. Remember, Cotton has the scene and he's talking to the cops and stuff like that. And they're trying to pin it on Stu. Ghostface is trying to use Stu as the patsy because there's always a patsy. There's always the fall guy.
Always a patsy.
Right? So Stu's the fall guy. They want to blame it on Stu. Stu's reformed. And then at the end, Stu saves Sydney and her children. But Sydney's never going to trust them. Sydney's never going to help them. And now you get a Cotton 2.0. But now you can keep Stu in the film. You don't have to explain all this other chaos of why he's involved, how he's involved, why he's the killer. It's just straightforward. He got out. Ghostface is trying to pin the murders on him. right? He's trying to prove his innocence. He's trying to help Sydney because Ghostface is trying to kill Sydney and her family. So he's like, how can I prove myself? Oh, by saving Sydney and stopping this Ghostface. And so he becomes reformed. He becomes a good guy. People get the happy-go-lucky Stu. You could have a bunch of scenes with Stu. You could have some fun scenes with Stu and Sydney that you'd never be able to get if they're the killer, if he's the killer. And you don't have to explain 30 years of history, right? Like, I just think that personally is probably the best way to handle it. But they're not going to do that.
And the other thing too is if Stu is alive, there's so much retconning that has to be done.
Yes.
I mean, like the biggest thing I'm thinking about, and Fallon Vamp, thank you so much for the $2. I really do appreciate you supporting the channel. And Pumpkinhead Podcast, thank you for becoming a member as well. It's really cool logo there, dude. Oh my God, that's fucking sick. That's cooler than my logo. Damn. I gotta call up your logo guy. No, but my thing about all this is we've established so hard in Scream 6 that Stu is dead. I mean, there is so much there. There is quite literally a picture of Stu with something like dead or something right next to it, like from died in 1996, right next to his name or something along those lines. And that happens. We have Kirby pushing the TV onto Ethan's head. I mean, that movie made such a stink to say that Stu is dead. So now if he comes back, my question is, are we going to retcon some of the things that happened in the previous film? Or like how do we explain that he's just like completely unknowingly to like everyone in this universe still alive? What are we going to do in that situation if that's the case? Because again, anything's possible. Anything's possible right now. I know everyone is saying, well, he's probably a flashback, but what if he's not? I mean, seriously, what if he's not? That is very much so a bigger reality than ever right now. It is absolutely a conversation piece, just like how I have to buy my girlfriend Taco Bell after this because so many people put the number 1 in the chat.
Here's my thing, and this is how I explained it in the video that I made, right? I said, when you keep the old saying, believe who they show you they are, right? Scream 5 and 6 showed you who they were. Why would I believe different in Scream 7? Right? Like Scream 5 was was Scream 96 2.0. Scream 6 was Scream 2 2.0. Why would I believe that this isn't going to be Scream 3 3.0 or 2.0? Why would I all of a sudden trust that you're going to change it up when you've shown me 2 other times? You come over to my house every time and you ask me for a Dr. Pepper. What do you think I'm going to expect? What do you think I'm going to assume? Oh, Jake's here. He's going to want a Dr. Pepper. So you walk through the door. Here's your Dr. Pepper. If you're like, nah, I want a Pepsi this time, it's going to throw me through a loop. I'm surprised. I'm shocked.
I actually want a Nurse Nutmeg.
I'll give you a nutmeg, all right?
Hell yeah. I throw that at people sometimes. No, I hear you though, and I'm expecting that too. I mean, there's a mastermind killer here. It could totally be Stu. And here's my thing. Even though I'd be just like rolling my eyes at that, there are 170 people hanging out with us tonight, and I know that the majority of these folks would be losing their minds. And to that's joy. That's something. And I'm happy for all of them. that's my thing. I'm happy that there's going to be so much joy centered around this movie. So even though we're frustrated, I'm happy that people are going to be leaving this theater just feeling like they just came in their pants, And
Marvel for this.
That's
it. It's Marvel's fault. It is. It's Marvel's fault.
It is Marvel's fault, but that's
they kept doing the big reveal, the guy we thought was dead, the audience, the Marvel. I mean, it's not. Obviously, the audience reaction has always been a thing, but Marvel kind of revolutionized the audience reaction with like Spider-Man and Endgame and
the cameos,
all these cameos and all these things. Now, all these franchises, all these movies, all these things just keep trying to get the audience reaction rather than just making a good movie. And so much so, Marvel can't even get the audience reactions anymore. People are sick of it. People are like, now you got like superhero fatigue and all that stuff, but they just created this trend. Anyway.
No, and you're right. I mean that's what's happening here. I mean let's be honest, that they want to have that excitement. They want to, have all these characters that people love all in this one movie, and it sells. It sells for what it is, even if it makes absolutely no sense. But C Palencia J, I think if I'm pronouncing that correctly, thank you for the $2. Thank you for supporting the channel. Saying Stu and Sydney face off in Act 3. This is 30-year beef, baby. That beef is expired, let me tell you.
Long expired.
Long expired. But, I mean, maybe there's some fun to that. Maybe we could have some fun with that. And I guess I'm staying open-minded. I don't know. Where I'm at is I can't take Scream seriously anymore, but maybe that's okay. Maybe this is just a new evolution of Scream. It's no longer about, making fun of other horror movies and kind of having a little bit of commentary there, implementing that into its own film and then subverting it. It's no longer about that. Screw all that complex shit. Let's just have fun with these characters that we've known for 30 plus years. Is that where we're at with the franchise? I guess. I guess that's just going to be the case, and I don't see the franchise going on much longer for that reason. When it was a little more sophisticated, when it did have some commentary, I was really into it. This is going to be a really fun theater watch, and that's going to be about it. And maybe that's just where these franchises head eventually. And there's just nothing we can do about that. Maybe there's just no more ideas that the studio wants to play around with, which is unfortunate.
Here's my other problem though. Do you trust them to get this right? Because I don't.
No.
They have done a terrible job with the legacy characters. Sydney had zero purpose and point in Scream 5, like nothing. Literally, the only thing she did that no one else could have done is like shoot through the doors and, I'm bored, right? Like that's it, right? Like the Gale tracking where she tracked the car, she literally looks at Gale and goes like, I learned it from you, right? So, okay, so the only thing that she did of importance Gale could have done, her saving the day at the end, we know Mindy was alive, so Mindy could have been the hero at the end of the movie, and it would have been a nice that actually would have been better because Randy was originally supposed to be the hero. Randy was originally supposed to be the one that pushes the TV on Stu and gets the girl and all that stuff, but they changed it. So that would have been a nice little callback, right? And then Scream 6, Gale served zero purpose. Gale served less purpose in Scream 6 than Sydney did in Scream 5. The only thing Gale did was discover the shrine room, but it led nowhere. You literally had Detective Bailey say he was going to reveal it. So the fact that Gale, it wasn't like Gale stumbled across it and it foiled Ghostface's plan, or that like when they showed up to the shrine room, Ghostface was there and had to scramble and they almost got a good look at who it was or anything like that. Literally, it served no point. The only thing Gale did, the killer was going to do anyway. So again, like you didn't give her any plot points to push the narrative and the story. You did the same thing with Sydney. And now I'm going to trust that you're going to do that with Roman, Stu, Sydney, Gale, Mason. And you're starting to get too convoluted. Now you're starting to get 15, 20 characters. You have to tell the story of Sydney's family, tell the story of her husband, tell the story of the daughter, tell Gale.
Listen, to just here's my thoughts on all this, okay? I'm going into this film with the ground expectations. At this point, like what Scream has told me through these announcements, like Josh Idol here is getting into. When are they going to announce Jill coming back? I hope we see her because she's also one of my favorite ghost faces. That would be cool. But if there's anything I've learned from these last couple announcements with this movie is that truly all that I think could be effective here is just the fun nature of Scream in general, because that has always been a big element to the franchise. I think they can get that right. And even though there are frustrating elements to most of the sequels in terms of plot, I think at the very least, all 6 of these movies have been extremely fun so far. So
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. Craven's talking shit.
Is Craven talking shit about us? That's hilarious.
He's talking shit about me. He said,
of course.
He said he's going to comfort me. He said,
wait, did he just text us or something? That's really funny.
In the chat. It's going on. Now I'm going to have to deal with Craven for the next year. God.
I know, he's going to be rubbing it in our faces.
All the time, like, hey, get like stupid. Like, oh, great. Here we go.
Just so everyone knows, just so everyone knows out on the chat here, Steven just texted us in our group chat, in our Lethal Collective group chat, and he said, "Don't worry, Fate, I'll be here to comfort you." #StewTrain. Just so you know, you got a seat on there, because I said this earlier. You know, if you can't beat him, join him. I'm on the Stew Train, baby. Let's rock and roll. You're always welcome, Fate.
I'm going out. Until I actually
I'm capitulating. I don't care.
Because look, he can still be 20 other things, literally. It could be 20 other directions they go. So until I see him actually be the killer, I'm going down with the ship.
He's back, baby. Let's do it. I want him to have the TV on and he uses like electrical powers shooting out of his fingers and everything. Yeah, he's like Palpatine or whatever in Star Wars. I haven't seen that movie in so long. Goddamn. But anyways, Josh Idol, when are they announcing our Queen Jill to come back? Probably tomorrow morning. I'm gonna be completely real with you, dude. Like at this point, it's probably going to happen. I would not be shocked. And you know what? I fucking love Jill anyway. So if we're doing this, you know, if we're saying fuck it, we're just gonna do this. We're gonna make a shit sandwich out of Scream 7. Bring them all back. Let's make it happen. Let's have some fun with this dumb movie. Josh Idol, thank you for the 2. I really do appreciate you. Love Jill. Love Jill so much. Justin Proper is saying, haha, we told you so. Yeah, I guess you did. Stew Train, baby. Choo choo. Since anything's possible now, next up to be revived is Principal Himpri. We never saw him actually die. Oh my god, if they bring him back, if the Fonz is in this fucking movie, I'm gonna lose my mind. Who else do you want to see come back from the grave, Fate, since we're on this topic at this point?
I mean, bring them all back, right? Like, you know, maybe Billy wasn't a Force ghost this whole time. Maybe he really was alive, right? Like maybe Billy was like, let's bring Randy back. If you're gonna bring anybody back, bring Randy back, right? Like Randy survived. Right? Maybe
the ghost of Billy possesses Randy.
There we go. They just like, it's like what is it? Friday the 13th. Which one is it? Like the 5th one or whatever, where the lightning rod comes and hits, and he like.
Yeah, the 6th one. Yeah,
there we go. 6th one. I do it was the 6th one. When he just like regenerates, right? Like something like that. Or let's go. You know, Jason Goes to Hell, where like it's not Jason, it's like his essence taking over everybody. Right? Let's just do that. It's really just Stu's soul has been resurrected and just taking over people's bodies, turning them into killers. Right.
And they just have Matthew Lillard do a bunch of like voiceover through a bunch of different characters. You know what? I'm here for it. I want to see zombie Himpri.
This is gonna be Halloween ends too.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna be.
Oh yeah. Corey Cunningham's gonna show up too. Cause fuck it, why not? Yeah. I can't wait. It's gonna be so great, Justin. Dude, thank you for the 5, man. You and your pink pants make me so happy. By the way, Child's Play fan is also throwing 5 out there. Thank you for the support. You guys rock. I think it would depend how the TV landed. He could be disabled now. I could, you know, I don't know about that, but I will say, you know, Craven does bring up this point a lot about how there was an incident at one point where a CRT television fell on a baby. And the baby survived. Like that was a real thing that happened. And that does shock me. I'll be honest. Those things are heavy. Fate, you probably had it. Did you have a CRT television back in the day?
Yeah, the 50 pounders. Yeah. These are like bricks.
They're like bricks, and the glass on that is thick, dude. We tried to break one time. I tried to break one for a video. I think it was a Scream Theory, actually. I remember I had a hammer, and I'm like looking away from it and everything, trying to break it. Dude, I mean, I couldn't do it. I couldn't break it. It was crazy. Those things are strong, man. They're durable. So, I don't know. Nothing there. Nothing with the CRT television. But Child's Play fan, thank you for the 5. Fate, are you talking? I don't know if I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. Okay, just double checking there. I heard you. I saw your lips moving like that, and then I didn't know what was going on.
Maybe it glitched out on the last one, but yeah.
I just can't stop looking at your lips. You know, that's the truth of it. If I'm being honest.
Well, I understand. They're very kissable lips.
Very kissable lips.
Usually when we make out, it's not on camera. Or
Oh,
is
you're
it?
right. Yeah.
Subscribe to our OnlyFans.
He's been filming me this whole time. Child's Play fan. Thank you for the 5, my friend. I do appreciate it. We'll see. I guess, we'll find out on February 27th or whatever. But Justin's going nuts over here, man. He's hyped up. Dude, thank you for the 20. Appreciate you. To be fair, Sydney, so I'm thinking scary. I just watched Scary Movie 2 last night. Cindy. It's on the
Scary
brain.
Movie 6 is coming out. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for that. Oh my God, that's going to be good. Sydney finding love is actually a huge deal, and it was just brushed over in Scream 5. I wouldn't mind if they focused some time on it, but I wish it was Patrick Dempsey, not Joel McHale, who's just probably going to die. Now, Fate, we haven't talked much about this. How do you feel about the Joel McHale casting? Because that's kind of...
That's so stupid. Like, I understand in the movie they didn't say it was Mark Kincaid, but we had both Patrick Dempsey and Neve Campbell both confirm in separate interviews that it was actually Mark Kincaid.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, come on, man. And like now you're gonna have this, which it goes into my point of this movie becoming convoluted, right? Like now you have to explain their history. How did they get together? When did they get married? Why did they get married? Right? Sydney really just trusted some guy after the Derek and Billy incident and everything like that. Like there's just so much
I know.
to explain. At least Mark Kincaid, you don't need an explanation. Right? Like they shared the trauma. They were together, right? Like they built it over the years. Like, yeah, you still kind of want to know where have they been? Like, what's their lives like? All this, like, I talked about it. People kept telling me, like, oh, it's not a recast. It is a recast. It's just not like the tradition. Like we saw him on screen and they took him out and replaced. It's a recast. They wanted Patrick Dempsey.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Patrick Dempsey. It was supposed to be Mark Kincaid. And guess what? They weren't able to get him, so they can't do Mark Kincaid. So they recasted Patrick Dempsey for McHale, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's
Joel
just
McHale.
Joel McHale. There we go. I was gonna say Kevin McHale, but it's because I'm at basketball. Yeah, basketball in the brain. I was doing a basketball live stream, so it's just it is infuriating, right? Like, look, I like Joel McHale. I think he's fine, right? Like, but he even kind of looks like Patrick Dempsey. It's like.
And my big thing about, there's a lot of things about this. I totally agree about the trauma angle there. Her and Mark like went to war together. This would make so much sense for them to end up together ultimately in the end. But now it's just some random dude named Mark Evans. And like, I think my biggest problem with it though, like besides that, is just the fact that like I love Joel McHale, like great actor. He adds a lot to a lot of the things that I've seen him in, but he's just like known to play the douchebag in movies, TV series. I mean, Jeff Winger, his most like popular character ever from Community, is a douchebag. I mean, he's a womanizer. Like that's his whole thing. Like that's the bit with him. And Ted. I mean, maybe even yeah, like Ted. I mean, he's a douchebag. It's like it's his trademark, and it's fucking hilarious. He does it so well. Now you're telling me he's Sidney Prescott's husband? What? like listen, casting is so important in my opinion, and this just is not good casting. I love Joel, great actor, but some people just don't fit into certain roles. I mean, like what if it was fucking like Seth MacFarlane or something playing this role? You'd be thinking the same thing. You're like, what? Like what do you mean? That's crazy. But I needed like
casted in that role.
I said if Sean Astin was younger. Like, you know what I mean? I need like a teddy bear. I need like a teddy bear man, like who's just like so happy to be a husband and a father. Like that's the kind of vibe I need from a Sidney Prescott husband character. Cause like, I don't see it any other way. Maybe it's just me, but like, I don't see Sidney being with a Joel McHale, maybe that's just me, but I don't see it. I don't see that relationship working. But I don't know. I could go on and on. Justin, thank you for the 20. I do appreciate it. I agree. I would love to see Sydney find happiness finally. She deserves it. But this just might not be the way to do it, in my opinion. Amber Freeman with a crazy profile picture. I mean, that's a crazy shot of Amber right there. Saying, imagine they announced Charlie, Mickey, and Debbie. Yeah, I hope can we tack on Amber Freeman to that too? That would be cool. I mean, you might as well at this point.
She's just like the burnt corpse just walking around just
oh my god. Oh, that would be kind of cool. I'm hyping myself up for this movie now at this point. I'm like I'm here for the cameos galore.
It would okay, so like I think it would be cool if they did something with all the killers, right? like you couldn't do like Amber or Richie, because yeah, Sydney was there, but it wasn't like Sydney's killers. Like
Right.
I don't want Sydney to necessarily see the killers, because I think that's stupid. But if they did something where, like somebody mentioned like the Ghostface voice box, like that would be cool, right? Imagine if they brought back like all the characters of the past, and and it was through like the voice box or whatever, or like each one's wearing the mask that the killer wore or whatever. Like there's a lot of ways that like you could do something that would be creative and like tie all of them to the past. Like I wouldn't mind something like that, but that's not what they're gonna do. Their brain stew back is gonna be stupid.
Yeah, probably. I hear a lot of people in the comments are talking a little bit about how it's going to be like an AI, like jokingly an AI voice, like the killer's going to use the different voices.
I wouldn't mind something like if we brought back the Scream 3 voice box, which makes more sense now than it did, back in 2000. So and now, especially with AI technology and all that stuff, and how you can like now you can actually put your voice into a synthesizer and it'll actually pump out. Like there's YouTubers that do it, literally YouTubers that make video. There was a big YouTuber that stopped, like he just created an AI software that makes all his videos. I don't remember I never really watched him. I just know he was like some guy that's been around forever, and he did that, and everyone hated it. So I don't know if he went back, but like my point is that the technology exists now to where you can do something like that with the Ghostface voice box, and it makes sense. Like it all adds up. So.
And in that case, it might make sense to bring all the characters back to do voices. Yeah. You know what I mean? For like a new Ghostface, and that I'm into. I mean, I could vibe with something like that. But again, we can't rule anything out, and that's what's I guess that's what's fun about a Scream film, is that even when we're facing dire consequences, there's always something fun to talk about, something absolutely wild that could be on the horizon, like Charlie, Mickey, and Debbie all coming back from the dead to be zombies. Oh. God damn it! No, I'm just kidding.
Does Scott Foley play his own kid in the movie?
I mean, he's aged pretty well.
That's what I'm saying. Like, does he come back and he's like, for 30 years or 26 years, right? He's like, he was like 10 at the time. Because how old was Roman in Scream 3? He was in his 20s, like if not 30.
He looked pretty young.
He was the older brother. So Sydney in Scream 3, because she already went through college and everything. So she was 17 in 96. So she would have at least been in her mid to late 20s. Because remember, there was a time jump in Scream 2, and there was a time jump between 2 and 3. So you're talking. So Sydney was probably mid 20s, 26, something like that. So I mean, Roman must have been
early 30s,
in his 30s, probably early 30s. So he could have easily had a kid that was 10, 11, add 26 years, and that kid would be like 36, something like that. Like,
just de-age him a little bit. You can play Roman's kid,
a little bit, and he's like Roman's kid. I don't know.
I know, man. I'm just like, everything that comes through. Amber Freeman, thank you for the $2. Let's hope Honora comes back for Scream 7. Who knows at this point? Who knows? And Justin, again, thank you for the 10, man. Appreciate you. Jake, this is our pathway to a Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street crossover. You can have Freddy and Ghostface in the same movie. Bring back all the dead characters from both franchises who have to escape Freddy in a purgatory dream world to be resurrected. This might be what's happening in Scream 7 at this point, Justin. I genuinely think the most exciting thing about this update is anything can fucking happen.
Yeah. All stakes are off. Anything you want can happen now.
I need a new Nightmare on Elm Street, though. I'll tell you what, though, Fate. I don't know how you feel about that franchise, but
I want, like, they're doing series for everything. Give me a new Nightmare on Elm Street series. That'd be fantastic.
Ooh, okay. I'm down. Something like, Welcome to Derry's coming out.
I'm a big fan of turning these. Obviously, we have to see them and see if they're good. But I'm a big fan of turning these horror franchises into series, because you can just do more instead of trying to fit it in a 2-hour little film. You can do it, or an hour and 45-minute film. You have like 8 to 10 hours, depending on how long the series is. You can just flush out characters better. You can tell stories better, right? Like I think there's a lot of potential for like the horror space in series form.
That's why I'm shocked they never did a Scream like TV series that was actually, canon to everything going on. It's what we got is just like basically little Ghostface stories with new characters.
They're doing the Kirby movie. We got confirmation on that. So we're getting the Kirby movie, and then we're getting, and then I imagine they want to do a series. So I imagine that they're probably going to tie it all in. And with what they established in Scream 6, you could do all kinds of stuff because they established essentially a cult, right? Like Scream 5 and 6 with the dreaded thread and all that stuff. And then Kirby talks about how she's been hunting. She's a Ghostface hunter. She hunts Ghostface all over the country. So that means there's Ghostface everywhere. So you could do stories everywhere. You do stories in all kinds of cities, places. Like you can do all kinds of stuff. So yeah.
And that could be fun. That's where the franchise needs to go. I am so into things like that, but man, overcomplicating it like this is weird. But I don't know. Well, who knows? Who knows what's to come? I'm just reacting to these very weird news updates. But Nightmare on Elm Street, give me another one of those too, Justin. I love it. Thank you for the 10. Appreciate you. We also got Bucko saying all used in voice disguiser like Jill, Roman, Stu, and Mickey. Yeah, I could totally see that being the case. I don't hate that, but again, I feel like we kind of just did that in Scream 6, like a lesser version of this, of course, kind of leaving the masks behind of all the previous killers. I'm just like I'm over it, man. I'm over the previous killers. This is
doing the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't hate the idea of updating the voice changer from Scream 3 and doing it better. I feel like that could kind of be like Kevin's way of, kind of getting even in a sense, right? He got kicked off of Scream 3, so I'm going to do Scream 3 but better. I get that. But I'm just like I'm sick of referencing the past with all these new movies. I mean, it's the weakest part of Screams 5 and Scream 6. Like every time they're just like, "Oh yeah, the killers from that time or whatever." It's like focus on the new people, man. I want we didn't do that shit in Scream 1, and there's a reason for it. And there's a reason that's easily the best one.
What do any of these new characters have to do with the past? Like, that's the point. Like, yeah. Like, so why do you keep referencing the past? But anyway, I gotta get out of here, buddy. I gotta go make videos, stuff like that, and do all this stuff. So I just wanted to pop on and rant with you. Thank you for coming on. I know it was impromptu.
Hey, dude,
we gotta do this more. We gotta do this again. We gotta get everybody. We were talking about.
I texted the group chat recently and I said we got to do some Lethal Collective stuff because it's been far too long. Would love to talk with all you guys again. But dude, thanks for popping in. Do appreciate you a bunch.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you everyone in the chat for letting me come back on. I appreciate you. And then besos. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Hell yeah. Peace. All right. So So I like the voice changer thing. It's fun. I like that theory a lot. That to me is cool. It builds up builds up this new Ghostface as being somehow connected to the past or torturing Sydney with her past essentially. But again, I'm just over it. I'm like, let's move on. Let's do more fun things, man. But Bucko, thank you for the 2. I do appreciate it. It's an interesting idea nonetheless. Imagine the whole Richie family comes back, says Amber Freeman. Hey, I mean, who knows? Again, they didn't come, they didn't go after Sydney, right? They never actually did go after Sydney, Richie's entire family. But maybe bringing them back into the story could be fun. I'm interested. I'm interested to seeing what the fuck they're gonna do at this point because I don't know anymore. I felt like I knew something. I felt like I knew where the story was going at some point. Now I don't. Now I got absolutely nothing, Amber. But I think for sure, with Scott Foley and Matthew Lillard coming back, I think for sure we will see them in some capacity if it's doing the voices for the voice changer or if it's some kind of flashback to the past. That could be a lot of fun. But if they do end up revealing that Stu is our new Ghostface, or I guess coming back, right? At this point, I'm here to have fun with the fandom and have a good time with this movie. But I'm just like Scream is just a little lower down the ladder now. I think for me at this point, I just. You don't see the Evil Dead doing things like this, and there's a reason for it. There's a reason why Evil Dead 2013 and Evil Dead Rise are so highly acclaimed. It's because they went all in on new characters to push the story forward with a similar threat. And that's really all I want from these franchise continuations, because that to me almost always results in a better a better product than something like just telling more stories with the previous characters who are maybe we just already told their story, you know. Ash Williams, one of my favorite characters in all of movies, and that original Evil Dead trilogy is great. Some great movies there. I love Ash to death, but I don't know if I need another movie with them, you know. Well, let's move on. Let's tell the other stories. Let's see what else this franchise can do. And right now, I'm really asking Scream that question. You know, what else can Scream do? And so far, it's just avoiding the questions, trying to get around it as much as humanly possible, Amber. But I'm still having fun, I guess. You know, I'm still having fun with it. I love seeing your guys' excitement. It's fueling me big time. So I'm excited to see where it goes next. But again, I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. I do have a letterbox, Juicy Fear. There are some people who try to pretend they're me on there, which is quite hilarious. Oh my god, so many phone calls. So I'm missing so many calls. I have so many calls. It's crazy. But what is my letterbox? I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head. But just to get this, set the record straight here, it is just KillJoy Jake with a capital K, capital J, another capital J, and no spaces or whatnot in between. So there, you can't really see that, can you? But yeah, I do have a letterboxd, and I sometimes I update it, sometimes I don't. But I just like to write little fun little 1-sentence reviews of movies that I watch. So it's fun stuff. But I'm gonna get to a few more chats, and I think old Jake's got to go to bed. I'm so tired. It's been a crazy day. The Beer Belly Angler is saying, "What if this is the best Scream movie ever? What if this is the Scream fan Super Bowl?" Well, at least I hope so. I hope at least. I hope so too, Beer Belly Angler. I hope it's awesome. I hope it's great. Nothing would make me happier than to be wrong right now. Let me tell you. And Amber Freeman, another $5. Thank you. Do you watch Beyond the Mask? And if so, did you see the video where he talked about the leak opening? And what are your thoughts on it, if true? I don't know. He's had some bad takes. He said some crazy things online. He attacked Terrifier fans, and I don't really appreciate that. So I kind of stopped watching the guy a little while ago. So, I mean, no hate, I guess, but I don't know. I won't get into it, but I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of his. But thank you for the 5. I appreciate it. Thank you a bunch. Is that leak true? Probably not. I'm gonna be real. I watched that video and it just kind of sounded like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I did see that one because I had a lot of people requesting for me to talk about it. I'm like, I just don't want to waste people's time with things that I think are probably not true. Drizzy Fest is saying, Jake, I know you don't want to be known as the Scream guy, but you should embrace it and get as much content out of this as possible. So what happens after there's no more Scream movies? No one will watch my channel. So yeah, that's the big thing. I love talking Scream and it's a ton of fun. But this is not a Scream channel. I do talk about other horror movies here. And this will always be a general horror topic page, even though, yes, I do talk about Scream a lot. I do like other things though. That's the thing. I do like other things outside the realm of Scream. So I can't say that I just like Scream. I couldn't just do videos on that when there's so many exciting things to talk about in the universe here. Are going to watch Hard Eyes? Yes, I just saw Hard Eyes last night. I cannot talk about it yet, but what I will say is I did put out a little tiny short video that I just kind of talked about it recently, and I'm going to be posting a spoiler-free review tomorrow morning as well. So definitely go check it out. Give it a watch. I had mostly good things to say about it. With each cast announcement for Scream 7, the Wayans brothers are rewriting Scary Movie 6. You already know they're going to have a Stu joke in there, dude. There's no way they don't have a Doofy revival, right? There's no way they don't do that in Scary Movie 6 now. I can't see them not. It's crazy. We love this channel. I love you, Bucko. Jake, do you think Chad will be the opening kill? Also, I called it. Stu's coming back. You did call it. You did. I could see Chad being the opening kill, but personally, I hope he's just a cameo saying something along the lines of, we're hanging out with Kirby. Everything's good. We're still alive. Would like to see some more Chad in future Scream movies, if there is a future for the franchise, that is. Josh is even stopping in. Oh my God. What's up, Josh? How's it going? What did I say about Stu? You were right. He's back. He's coming back. He's using his TV powers to use electricity on Sydney. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen at this point. I don't know anymore, Josh. Who knows what's gonna happen for this movie? It's gonna be the final showdown between Stu and Sydney, where we're gonna end the franchise there, I guess. So it's crazy. it's crazy shit. Talia Nagarado is saying Stu is back, Jake. I'm so damn happy. I hope they don't ruin it. But when I saw Matthew's post on my lunch break, I couldn't believe it. I still have not even gotten to Matthew's post. Again, I'm gonna make a big video on this tomorrow. I just got I was in an early screening of Hard Eyes, and my phone is blowing up, and you're not allowed to look at your phone when you're at these early screenings. So I'm like, what is going on? What could possibly be happening? And I get out, I go to my car, and I look at my phone, and I mean, I'm not kidding, a text or a call from every contact in my phone. Everyone's like, dude, what are you doing? go live, do something. And I'm like, oh, holy shit. I was driving so fast going home. I can't believe I didn't get pulled over. I was like, oh my God, what is going on? The nuclear button basically went off. I couldn't believe it, but I am going to do a big video on it tomorrow. I'm just I just can't believe it. I can't believe they actually announced it. I sit here and I talk about these crazy theories. I didn't think any of them would actually come true. Carrie Grave Cinema, what's up, Carrie? How's it going? It's been too long. Great seeing you, Jake. We'll always love this channel, my friend. So much love, Carrie. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you a bunch. It's been too long. It's been too long since we hung out. We talked a little Scream. That's great to see you, Carrie. Joshua Brooks, thanks for being a member. I think the thing with the AI is that the killers will be sending Sydney videos, acting like the old killers are the ones doing it, but really it's AI. Ooh. Okay. I mean, that's interesting because it's the looming threat of AI right now is something that is very serious for filmmakers. But again, a lot of the shit that they're making with AI looks like dog shit. Did you guys see the fucking idiots that made the Evil Dead thing? Sorry, I don't even care that I'm calling them idiots. That sucks, dude. That's actively taking jobs away from people. Stop fucking doing that. Go out into the woods and make a goddamn movie yourself. You lazy bunch of buttholes. But anyways, yeah, I could totally see AI being a big topic of conversation there. But it irks me that AI is even being considered by studios and shit like that now. So I would love for Scream to just rub some dirt in the faces of AI lovers. Kill Josh Petrino saying I think he'll be all ghost mode like the last couple. Like he'll be like some sort of figment of the dude's imagination, of Sydney's imagination. I mean, sorry, I'm half asleep. It's been a long day. Jess Dubois is going to be Ghostface in the new Scream, confirmed. Probably. Josh, you're probably Ghostface too. Little do we know. The announcement's coming tomorrow morning. I know it. I just know it. Josh, you and Jess are the best. Thank you guys again for everything with Chicken Man. I sent you a text, Josh. I hope you're doing better after your surgery. Wanted to check up on you, making sure you're doing okay. But thanks for stopping in, dog. Really do appreciate you a bunch. Let's catch up sometime though, for sure. Justin Proper, thank you for the 5, man. Saying I'm seeing all the hype for Hard Eyes. An article claimed the killer's on par with Jason, Michael, and Freddy. Is it true and does it live up to the hype? I genuinely can't say. Embargo lifts tomorrow morning. I did put out a little short kind of talking about my reaction, but I really didn't get into much stuff about the film. All I'm going to say is I did really enjoy it and go see it. Go see it next week. Definitely go see it next week. I will do again, Justin, I really do appreciate the super chat. I wish I could say more, but I feel like I'm going to get in trouble. I feel like I've already said a lot about it. And I'm like, teetering on the line there. I would hope that I get to do more, more screenings in the future, and I would hate for them to just be like, fuck this guy. Goes live right after seeing it and talks about the whole movie, So I really can't say, unfortunately. But again, I will have a video out early tomorrow morning. I'm going to sleep right now, waking up at the crack of dawn so I can put this bad boy out as soon as humanly possible once that embargo lifts. But definitely see it. Definitely go see it a week from now. If you like Scream, if you like Thanksgiving, I think you'll dig this one. But Justin, thank you for the 5, my friend. I really do appreciate you a bunch. I wish I could tell you something. I wish I could tell you anything, but I can't. You're too fat to be Ghostface. You'd have to wear a muumuu with the mask. You could do it, Josh. You could you could make it happen. Just have some throwing knives, Just whip them at people. It's great. It'll be a new take New take. I love it. Are we getting a new fan film from you, like maybe Red Right Hand 2? No, but I did just put out Chicken Man. It's an original slasher film that I just made myself, and I'm going to end the stream talking about that. Watch Chicken Man. It's fun. It's a good time. It's a slasher villain I came up with myself. If you liked Red Right Hand, this is way better. This is a million times better. So give it a watch, Chicken Man. It's on the page somewhere. You'll find it. But one more super chat's coming through. Thank you, Amber Freeman. Appreciate you for the 10. Saying, I don't think they'll do this. But what if Scream 7 ends with a cliffhanger and we see Stu throughout the movie and have a bigger role in the next one? I feel like it's going to be a short role. I think, yes, it'll likely be a short role, realistically. But I would love to, honestly, at this point, I'm just like, whatever. I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, whatever. If they end up if they do have Stu in this movie and and he's some kind of big mastermind killer, sure, fuck it. Do 2 movies if you want. I could be into it, but yeah, I would love to see this happen eventually in one of the Scream movies. That would be like a lot of fun to do, like a killer that makes it through one of the flicks and comes back for the other one. Maybe you still don't know who it is by the time the movie wraps up. But yeah, I don't know. I think that could be a lot of fun to do something along those lines, Amber. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words here. But yes, I like that idea. But if they do have Stu as the killer in this movie, maybe they just do it and wrap up the whole franchise. Who knows? Who knows? Do we have to tell that story across multiple movies? Well, we'll just end up seeing here. Amber, thank you for the 10. You guys don't want me to get off. I think that's what's. I think that's what's happening here. David, thank you for the 5, though, my friend. I really do appreciate the support from all you guys. You guys rock. You guys keep your boy in business, and it really does mean a whole lot to me. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do this crazy shit. I really do appreciate it a bunch. David is saying Scream 7 killers might use as masks of Stu and Roman underneath the mask, like Scooby-Doo 2 villains. That's great. How they use Alicia Silverstone as a mask so he won't get recognized. That's really funny. And they might. There's a movie that came out on Netflix called Somebody's in Your House or something like somebody's inside the house. I can't remember the title of it. It's the same director as Creep, though. Patrick Bryce. They do something similar to this. The killer is always wearing like a 3D printed mask of like the victim they're going after, which I thought was a really cool idea. So maybe they do something like that here in Scream 7. Maybe like instead of Ghostface, it's Ghostface using the voices of Stu or Roman and all these. Or maybe even a mask of these people that's photorealistic underneath the Ghostface mask. That's ridiculous. I love it. But it is giving me vibes of that Netflix movie that came out a few years ago, which is like the one thing I remember from that movie. I'm going to be honest. But if you like murder mysteries, that's a good one. That's a fun one for sure, David. Very good stuff there. Love the little parallel. Dude, thank you for the 5 again. Really do appreciate it. And you guys, you're too kind. Thank you for the Chicken Man love. Appreciate you a bunch. So well shot. Can't wait till your next movie. Thank you. It made yolk leak out of your ears. Good. That's great. That was the intention. Chicken Man was genuinely the most jarringly baffling, horrifying thing I've ever seen. Loved it. Thank you. Oh my God, that means so much. Seriously, that's my heart is warm because of you guys. All right, I got to get off. I'm actually like I've been I've been going since 6 a.m. I'm so tired. I'm gonna wake up. Wake up super early. We're gonna get a bunch of videos out, and we're going live again tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So stop on by. Let's talk some more Scream. What the fuck is going on? I don't know anymore. Stop on by tomorrow. A bunch of videos. You guys heard it. Watch Chicken Man. Thank you guys. Don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. People.